Hi, Sagittarius. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you guys today. This is going to be a mid month check in for the month of September for the sign of Sagittarius. So, if you have Sag anywhere in your chart, maybe you vibe with Sagittarius, maybe you're a cross watcher, whatever the case may be here, this reading may resonate for you. As always, this is the internet, so take what resonates and leave what does not. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through email or form submission on my website. Sag, I am doing an open-ended reading for you guys today. What I mean by that is, like, I'm not doing a set spread. I like to do 6 cards across. We're going to clarify in 2s, and then this just gives me the most, like, conversational kind of connection to your guides. It gives us a little bit more free-flowing, and they can kind of take me where they want to go, and it's just less rigid. So, without further ado, Sagittarius, let's get into it. Bottom of the deck is your challenge, represents what you're not seeing, what you're not looking at. We've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the King of Wands, and we've also got the King of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. For some of you here, this challenge is interesting. We'll talk more about this in the actual reading too, but there seems to be a lot of people around you right now, Sag, that are sort of affecting your energy. So occasionally when there's multiple kings and queens in a reading, especially because we've got the Empress and the Emperor in your readings, it's most likely about like a connection that you have. Especially with all these characters in the challenge with the Two of Pentacles, you may be getting a lot of opinions right now. Okay, there may be people talking to you, telling you what to do, what they think you should do. And it feels like with this King of Wands, King of Pentacles, it feels like we're talking about someone specifically, a more masculine energy here. Someone that's probably... It's like this would be someone very earthy, very down to reality, but also like very passionate, very smooth, very charismatic. It feels like with the Two of Pentacles, you're a little overwhelmed right now. Ten of Swords, maybe you're contemplating an ending with someone. The Knight of Cups is there too, so this could be romantic for a lot of you. But it seems like your challenge is going to be following your true north, right? Following your inner voice, where you want to go, where your gut wants you to go, and not listening to, the sort of chatter that you have around you right now. So, let's get into this. I'm interested. You start with the Ace of Swords in the reverse and the Empress. So some of you could definitely be, more on the side of the divine feminine. You could be more of a feminine energy here, but with the Ace of Swords, not great. Ace of Swords in reverse is withholding truth. It's lying. And the Empress is the divine feminine. You could be a mother. This doesn't feel like we're talking about your mother today, Sagittarius. This feels like maybe you are either just someone who's very strong in their identification as the divine feminine, or you are a mother yourself. Maybe you have children with this person that we're talking about. But Ace of Swords in reverse is gross. It's withholding truth. It's lying. So it feels like you may be sitting in a place of something's up, or maybe you're just distrustful of the people around you right now. Let's see. Nine of Cups, but it came out crossed. When a card comes out crossed or like sideways, it's a conflict card. The Lovers. And the Empress again. So for a lot of you guys, this is going to be romantic with the Lovers, the Empress, and the Nine of Cups crossed. This to me is like a really strong combo of, am I happy here anymore? It feels like, I'll put the Nine of Cups in reverse just so I can hold these up to the screen a little bit more organized looking. It feels like for a lot of you guys here, you're dissatisfied with something. Nine of Cups as a conflict is almost very similar to how you would read it in the reverse. It's just a lack of happiness. It's a conflict around happiness. It's like, I can't seem to be happy here. The Lovers is also known as the choice card of Gemini, and the Empress is the Empress, what we just talked about. So I feel like you've got the Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck with the King of Cups. It feels like some of you guys, like I said, you have someone showing up as very like earthly, very tied to their work, their money, their passions, but then not very tied to their emotions with the King of Cups here, right? I think some of you guys are a little bit emotionally dissatisfied in a connection right now. Is the most blunt way I could put this. You know, I feel like there's almost like this want for more from this connection and a frustration that it's not happening, that we're not getting it. And I feel like with this Empress, a lot of you guys are exercising. I'm hearing restraint. It's like you're exercising a lot of restraint now by quite literally sitting still, looking pretty. But I almost feel like your guides are chiming in to give you this message of like, how long are you really willing to wait here? You know, that's what this reading sort of feels like for me, Sagittarius. Like in this mid-month, you may have, and this doesn't have to specifically just be one connection. This could be many connections. It doesn't have to just be, you know, maybe love is the example for you, but it would kind of, it begs you to look at all of your connections. You know, am I sticking around somewhere where I don't want to be anymore? Am I continuing a relationship with someone that I don't want to have? Am I expecting someone to change who has shown me multiple times that they're not going to? That's how this is sort of feeling to me. It's very like run ragged almost kind of energy. Like we're keeping composed, but we're kind of like meh about it. Yeah, Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups and the Ace of Wands. This to me is almost reading as like, I feel like some of you guys may have a partner that prides themselves, or not prides themselves, but puts a lot of emphasis on like physical touch. Like the act of like physically celebrating a union here. And it feels like a lot of you guys are like, this just doesn't do it for me anymore. You know, you could be in maybe like a situationship if this is not like something more serious, but this is definitely giving me like, I've outgrown this. You know, I feel like a lot of you are sitting here again. It's just this wonder of Eight of Cups. Is it time for me to go? Is this going to be anything but this? You know, the Ace of Wands, I call it the DICK card. Regardless of what we're working with, you know, equipment-wise, it is the physical consummation. You know, it's someone who's very focused on the physical release. And so it feels like right now, Sagittarius, this begs the question of, is it genuine? If your connection is solely based on the physicality, is it genuine? Is it fulfilling? I think for a lot of you, it's not. What I think is interesting also with the Knight of Wands coming up, there's almost this feeling here, Sag, where I feel like you might have thought in the beginning, okay, yeah, this is all I want. Like I don't want I don't want something serious, because the Knight of Wands is not a very serious card, right? He's kind of willy-nilly. He's very much like run in, swing my wand around on my horse and hope for the best. And I feel like some of you guys here, maybe you thought this is what you wanted, and now I feel like you're almost backtracking a little bit and being like, well, maybe I don't want this. I feel like Sagittarius, someone caught feelings here. If this is like not something that's established as serious, I think you want something serious. What did I just say? Six of Pentacles, Four of Wands, and the Six of Wands. You want something very serious here, babe. Okay, Four of Wands is commitment, halfway to marriage. Six of Wands is victory, and the Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. I think some of you guys are very much giving, like, I want more than what you're willing to give me right now. I think some of you guys have changed your mind, and I want to remind you that it is okay to change our mind. You know, it is okay to have gone into this being like, I just want to fling. I don't want emotions. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. I just want to fling. And then to realize, oh, wait, maybe I am a little bit more emotionally invested than I thought I was. You know, because your next two cards here are the Sun in reverse and the Seven of Wands. I think for a lot of you guys, there was almost this feeling here of, well, I'll never be happy, so I might as well just wing it. And now I sort of feel like you guys had this almost like growth spurt where it's like you grew into yourself and you were suddenly like, oh, wait, I can be happy. Like, I do deserve to be happy. And now I think you're kind of, the way my guides are saying this, it's like up Shit's Creek. Because you're like, oh no, I went into this thinking I didn't want something serious, and now I do want something serious because I do think I can be happy, even though I thought I couldn't be happy. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of like this, I feel like you just did this dance with yourself. Now I'm understanding why we're at such a dilemma here. Yeah, Four of Swords in the reverse and the Knight of Cups with Temperance. I'm going to encourage some of you guys, and I know this is going to be a controversial but brave thing for me to say to you right now, to take a step back. Okay? I feel like some of you guys are, if you've made your thoughts known, you've made your thoughts known. Find peace with that. Okay? Acknowledge, like, I said what I had to say. I did the thing. And I'm moving on, you know, because I feel like some of you guys, and please, I am not trying to attack you. There's codependency issues here, and they are coming up, right? It feels like you are getting a little bit overly invested right now, is the best way to put it. Obviously, keep in mind, if you are already in a committed relationship, then that part's not for you. You should be invested. But for those of you that are just kind of having like a fling moment with someone, feels like you're getting a little over invested, and it's showing a little bit. You know, you've got the Five of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, Five of Wands and the Seven of Cups. I think some of you guys need to, again, just take a step back, regroup with yourself. Because it almost feels like, I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to come off a little abrasive. Do you actually like this person? Or did you just form an attachment? There is a very stark difference between liking someone romantically and forming an attachment with them. Sag, it feels like with everything that's showed up in the challenge here of you being like, they're not emotional enough, they're not this enough, da-da-da-da, it feels like you are dealing with an attachment issue right now and not necessarily a, oh, I actually do like you kind of issue. Ooh, I just heard this really loud. Do you like them or do you like the attention? I think that's where a lot of you guys are right now. Yeah, you've got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse and the Page of Wands. For some of you, you're even questioning, do I want kids with this person? That's like that's almost like your gauge here, I feel like, for some of you. And for those of you that do want children, this is going to be a really important gauge. Could you see this as a parent of a child? Could you see co-parenting with this person? Could you see being in a long-term committed parental family unit situation with this person? What would that look like? What would it feel like? How do you think this person would act? You know, and we can say, because I hear you guys being like, well, we'll never know. We wouldn't know until it happened, right? There are signs. How does this person deal with their responsibilities? Animals, chores. How are they showing up? Are they, if they're not emotionally available to you, how would they be emotionally available to a child? This is what I mean by there's signs here. You are able to grasp it and form an opinion before you take that sort of leap, right? With the Magician at the bottom of the deck, I think you guys are really asking the big question here of, is this it? Do I like them or am I just attached to them? You know, this is a very tricky place to be, especially because I feel like for some of you guys, you're learning really tough lessons here. You know, you're tackling codependency issues. You're tackling issues around commitment phobia, overly committing to things. And now as the mid-month is sort of rounding out, I think you are settling within yourself and settling in this new idea of who you are. And that begs the question, who fits into my life now? If I've changed who I am, if I went through the death and rebirth, if I went through the shedding of an ego, and I'm coming out brand new on this other side, who fits into the plan? Who deserves a seat at the table? Keep in mind, babe, it's your fucking table. It's no longer what do I bring to the table. No, we're at the table. We set the table. Babe, we're there. What are other people bringing to your table? Do you even want to give them a seat? That's where I feel like your questions are right now. There's no easy way. 10 of Swords is the end of a long, bitter cycle. Babe, I think your answer is no. I think that's the conclusion you guys are drawing here. You know, I feel like some of you are... It's like you're just coming into this knowledge of, this is not it. This is not for me. And I think it's you have this... like really difficult dynamic going on within yourself of like, well, I want the connection. I want to be with someone. I want to be loved, adored, appreciated, all these other things. But then there's this other part of you that's like, well, I don't want it from this person. They can't even give it to me. I want something this person doesn't have. It's a very ugly realization, Sagittarius. I understand. You know, right now, I think your biggest hurdle is going to be finding peace within yourself of maybe this was just an attachment issue. Maybe my feelings are attachment related and not genuine love related. You know, your last two cards are the Emperor and the Five of Cups. Something else I'm going to encourage you to remember here, Sag, is that other people are in charge of their own healing and their own life trajectory. Okay, I think some of you guys are so caught up in this, and you're also tacking on the responsibility of like, well, you know, I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to throw them off. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. This is a grown-ass adult, Sag. You're dealing with an adult. At the end of the day, we are responsible for our own healing. That's what this is about. That's what tarot is about. That's what all of this is about. Us being responsible for our own healing and creating a world that we view worth living in. You can't sit around wondering, well, is this going to hurt them? How bad is it going to hurt them? How long is it going to take for them to recover? This and that and the other thing. Literally, you have the Five of Cups twice. You're sitting around mourning for this person without remembering that they're a grown-ass adult. They're a whole person, right? If you knew, let's say one of your friends, this is such a weird example my guides are giving me. If you had a friend that totaled their car because they were driving drunk, they're not hurt, they just totaled their car, you know, and they come out, you're like, well, babe, this is your responsibility. Like, I'm sorry a car's totaled, but like, you brought this on yourself. There's nothing I can do for you. This is the same scenario. I know it takes two to tango, and I understand that. But when we leave someone, it's because they're not meeting a need for us. Okay? If everything was fine and dandy, and this person had emotional maturity for days, and the communication was great, I wouldn't be giving you this reading. Clearly, things are not fine and dandy. Okay? You have to be able to walk away from things, even if it hurts another party. I mean, quite literally, your cards are echoing that. Five of Pentacles in the reverse, the Sun and the Knight of Swords. Even if it hurts someone else, we have to choose ourselves. The hardest lesson, I say this to my collective all the time, and I've said it to my clients as well. One of the hardest lessons I ever had to learn was that for the rest of my life, every day, I had to wake up and choose myself. In the face of anything and everything. Okay? With the Knight of Swords here and the Sun, you have to follow, I mean, Nine of Pentacles is single ladies. You have to follow your true north. You have to follow your gut, your heart, your intuition, your emotion. Okay? Without worrying, well, what's going to happen to this person? Babe, they're an adult. If their Ace of Cups just came out, if this person, you may hold love for them still. If you are meant to be with this person, it will happen. You know, Emperor, Empress, this is a soul connection for sure. Is it meant for right now? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. If this is meant to come back around, though, it will find you. Okay? A good mantra that I still use for myself to this day is that what is meant for me will never pass me by. You have to trust that if it's meant for you, it will come back around, okay? 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, and the Page of Cups, but this person has a lot of growing to do. They have a lot of healing, and they have a lot of growing, and they have a lot of maturing to do. Okay? And it's not your job, you know, with this 8 of Pentacles, you're not their therapist. You know, you're not a doctor. You're coming into, maybe you are a doctor, but you're not their doctor. When we come into relationship, we have to come in as a whole person meeting a whole nother person. I'm trying not to smash my mic, okay? That's how we do relationships. If I'm not showing up as a whole person and I'm kind of like in a weird jellyfish place, then I can only really kind of blip. I'm there, but I just jellyfish flopped on top of you. That doesn't feel very great, does it? You have to allow this person time to heal. And I'm going to be blunt because I think you need to hear it. It's not going to be with you. You're not meant to walk them through this healing. One more, please, for Sag, before we get an oracle card. I can't make it up. Death. Let it go, babe. I understand it hurts. I understand that choosing ourselves is sometimes, oftentimes, one of the most difficult things we will ever do and continue to do for the rest of our lives here. Okay? But with death, you have to let this person shed their ego in their own time. They have to let go of who they think they are to become who they're meant to be. Okay? And that's not your responsibility. That's not your job. Okay? All right, let's get you guys an oracle card. The oracle deck I'm using is the Angelarium. This is my favorite deck to date, oracle deck. I use it all the time. If you've watched literally any video with me in it ever, you've seen this deck. So, it's a reimagining of the Falling of the Angels. Let's get it. What is the advice for Sag for the mid-month of September, please? Just one, please, as well. Sometimes they shoot out like 4 or 5. Girl, be so for real right now. I'm not reading 5 cards to you. Like, I don't think this deck is so, like, on the nose. I think 5 cards would just simply overwhelm us anyway. Interesting. Not who I thought was going to come out. You guys have Butator, Angel of Calculations. Interesting. I'll read it to you. You'll see why I'm saying that. It's number 61 for those of us into numerology. All right. It's easy to get lost in facts and figures. Overemphasizing their importance might be coming at the expense of more important aspects of your current situation. Take a step back and look at the culmination of your work. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Interesting, Sag. Interesting. I think some of you guys need to remember that you've built your own life. As harsh as this is going to sound, the people, this person, some of the people we meet in our lives are just blips. They're just a tree in the forest, quite literally, like the card says. Don't get sidetracked. Keep building your empire. Keep developing your forest and keep growing. Okay? Sag, that is what I have for you guys today. That is your mid-month check-in, all right? I hope this was helpful for you. If this reading resonated or my reading style resonates with you, I would really appreciate if you guys would consider liking and subscribing. We are on the road to 200 subscribers, which is so exciting. If you guys would like to interact with me on a live basis, I do go live 3 days a week on Twitch. You'll find me Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. There's also a Discord server you can join if you would like. It is a wonderful community of people, very uplifting, very supportive, but it's also where I post all of my updates about my streaming schedule. So if you would like that, let me know. I'll put it in the comments if you guys want it, or stop by one of the streams. The mods are always posting it. So that's how you can get it as well. So Sagittarius, I leave you with this. I hope you guys have a fabulous morning, day, afternoon, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!